The Girl in the Window. When I was about 8 years old, my family lived in a small two-story house on the edge of a quiet town. Behind the house stretched a line of woods that always felt strangely oppressive at night. My room was upstairs, and the window overlooked the backyard, with the trees beyond. It started one summer evening. I had been in bed for maybe half an hour, the soft hum of the crickets lulling me towards sleep, when I heard the faintest tapping on the glass. It was so light that I thought it might be a moth or a beetle hitting the pane. But when I opened my eyes and turned my head, I froze. There was a face in the window. The glass reflected the dim glow of my nightlight, but even so, I could clearly see the pale outline of a girl's face staring in at me. She looked about my age, maybe a little younger. Her hair was long and dark, her eyes wide and unblinking. The strangest part was her expression, neither happy nor sad, but blank, as though she wasn't really seeing me at all. I screamed. My mom and dad rushed in, and when they turned on the light, the window was empty. They told me I must have been dreaming and tucked me back into bed. But I knew what I saw. For the next week, the same thing happened every night around the same time. Sometimes the girl would just stand there, staring. Other times, she would press her hands against the glass, leaving faint smudges in the morning that no one else seemed to notice. I became terrified of nightfall, dreading the moment I'd have to look at that window again. Eventually, my dad nailed heavy curtains over the frames so I couldn't see out. For a while that helped, but then the noises began. It started as light scratching, like fingernails dragging down the outside of the wall. Then it turned into tapping on the glass again, louder this time, insistent. Once in the dead of night, I swear I heard the faint sound of a little girl's voice whispering my name. Daniel. I remember covering my head with my blanket, trembling until morning. One night, I woke up to silence. No tapping, no scratching. I peeked over the covers, and that's when I saw it. The curtains were pulled open from the inside, and standing in the room between me and the window was the girl. Her skin was grayish, her dress tattered and stained with dirt. Her hair hung in tangled clumps, and her eyes, those blank, empty eyes, locked onto mine. She didn't move. She just stared. I opened my mouth to scream, but nothing came out. My chest felt tight, like the air had been sucked from the room. Then, slowly, she raised her hand and pointed toward the woods outside. Finally, I let out a scream that shook the whole house. My parents rushed in again, but by the time they turned on the lights, she was gone. We moved a few months later. My parents said it was for work, but I always suspected they knew something about that house. I never saw the girl again. Still, sometimes when I wake in the middle of the night, I swear I hear tapping at the window, light, patient, waiting.
The toy box. When I was a child, I had an old wooden toy box that once belonged to my uncle. It was heavy, painted with faded circus animals, and it sat at the foot of my bed. My parents thought it was charming and vintage, but I hated it. Even when it was closed, I always felt like something inside was watching me. The first incident happened when I was 6. I woke up in the middle of the night and heard a faint rattling sound. At first, I thought it was the wind, but then I realized it was coming from the toy box. I sat up, my little heart pounding, and watched as the lid of the box lifted, just a crack. Then it slowly closed again with a soft thud. I didn't sleep that night. The next day, I told my mom, but she just smiled and said I must have imagined it. She assured me that old woods sometimes swelled and shifted, but I knew what I saw. Over the next few months, the noises grew worse, scratching, like something clawing at the inside. Whispers, too faint to make out. One night, I heard laughter, childish giggling, muffled, as though it came from inside the box. I begged my parents to get rid of it, but they refused. They said it was part of the family, that it had belonged to my uncle when he was little. Then came the night I finally worked up the courage to open it. I remember my hands trembling as I lifted the lid. My toys were inside. Plastic soldiers, a teddy bear, a rubber ball. But they looked different, somehow. Their eyes seemed darker, their faces twisted into faint, cruel smiles. That was when I noticed something new. A small wooden marionette I had never seen before. Its face was painted with a wide grin, but its eyes were sharp, almost alive. It lay on top of everything else, as if it had been waiting for me. I slammed the lid shut and backed into the corner of the room, sobbing until morning. The next day, when I checked again, the marionette was gone. After that, things got worse. Toys moved on their own. My teddy bear was found sitting in the middle of the room with its head turned backward. The rubber ball rolled across the floor at night, stopping just before it hit my bed. And sometimes, when I woke in the dark, I would see the marionette sitting on the lid of the box, grinning at me. When I was 9, my parents finally decided to donate the toy box to charity. The night before it was supposed to be taken away, I woke to the sound of the lid creaking open one last time. I watched, paralyzed, as the marionette climbed out. Its little wooden arms bent unnaturally, joints creaking as it crawled toward me. Its painted grin stretched impossibly wide, and in a tiny, rasping voice, it whispered, "Don't let them take me." I screamed until my father rushed in and turned on the light. The toy box was closed. The puppet was gone. They took the box the next morning. I never saw it again. But sometimes, when I hear faint laughter in the dark, I wonder if someone else opened that box and found the marionette waiting.
The Forgotten Friend. When I was a child, I had an imaginary friend named Eli. At least, that's what my parents called him. To me, Eli wasn't imaginary at all. He was real. He first appeared when I was 5. I'd be playing in my room, and suddenly I'd feel a presence beside me. Eli was tall, much taller than anyone I knew, but I never saw his face clearly. It was always shadowed, as if hidden in darkness. Still, he spoke to me, and his voice was soft, almost soothing. "Let's play," he would say. We played hide and seek, tag, even board games. Whenever I laughed, my parents would peek in and ask who I was talking to. When I told them about Eli, they just smiled nervously. At first, Eli was harmless, but as I grew older, his games became stranger. One night, he asked me to sneak into my parents' room and take my dad's pocket knife. I refused, but Eli's voice turned sharp, almost angry. "You're supposed to be my friend," he hissed. Another time, he told me to stand in the middle of the street at night and wait for the headlights of an oncoming car. He said it would be fun. When I told my mom about these games, she grew pale. She insisted Eli wasn't real, but I could see the fear in her eyes. The final time I saw him is burned into my memory. I was about 7. I woke up in the middle of the night and found Eli standing at the foot of my bed. For the first time, I could see him clearly. He was no child. He was impossibly tall.
his limbs thin and twisted, his skin ashen. His face, when he leaned close, was nothing but a hollow, grinning void. "I'm not imaginary. You are mine." I screamed, and my parents came running. Eli vanished, but the terror stayed with me. After that night, I never saw him again. My parents said it was just my imagination, a phase I grew out of. But even now, as an adult, I sometimes wake in the middle of the night and feel someone standing at the foot of the bed, watching, waiting. I never dare to look.